Okay, everyone, I just want to do a quick overview of the sample solution. So this is my sample diagram for the domain class model. So what I did, I basically said, well, we have basically these three users here, right? The manager, the tutor, and the student. And all of them will have kind of the same information, a password, an email, and a name. This was not very specific for a manager. I think it just said name. But I decided for better and easier design to say like, well, let's put this in a password, email, and name and let all of them inherit from this, right? So all of them have the same information, so I don't have to put it in here. But the student also has a num credits, which says like, hey, how many appointments can that student still basically book, right? We could still decide to just take these and put them directly in here. Nothing wrong with that, right? This is basically your decision. So then a couple of things. So we basically have one manager. So that's why the multiplicities here are one. You see a couple of comments in here, right? So two of the associations, I put them in blue because honestly, I think they do kind of belong in the domain because the subject or the student needs help for a specific subject. That is kind of important because that's what the system is about, right? We want to offer service where students can get help for a specific subject. But for implementation reasons, this is not really needed. The same for a tutor teaches a student. Well, in the system, it is important that a student can book an appointment and an appointment belongs to a tutor. So we can basically figure out exactly the relation here. But the teachers, I think, kind of makes it more obvious that a tutor is teaching a student. But again, I made it in blue because I think it's optional. So an appointment has a time and an ID. And an appointment is taught by exactly one tutor, not zero, not many, because every tutor can assign or create their own appointments. So we have a tutor can have many appointments, and each appointment has exactly one tutor. For the student and appointment relation, well, a student can have many appointments booked, right? But each appointment can only be assigned to 0 to 1 students. 0, well, when a tutor creates a new appointment, then 0 students are assigned to it. But then when a student signs up, it will be 1. Okay, then we have a manager manages tutors, a bunch of tutors are basically manager manages a bunch of tutors, but one tutor is only managed by one manager because we only have one manager. Manager sets up a bunch of subjects. A tutor can sign up for a bunch of subjects, and a subject can have a bunch of tutors. So this is basically where this comes from. So some like to have an association between this, like a subject is for a specific appointment, but I don't like it that much because an appointment is made for a tutor, right? And let's say the tutor creates the appointment while only teaching SER 315, but now the appointment is in 2 weeks and now the tutor decides, well, I'm also able to teach 316. If you had the association between this here as well, you would have to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to add this association then between the new subject? Just make things a little bit more complicated. So I do not like this association so much, but it's not wrong having it in there. Okay, so this is for the domain class model. That's the use case diagram. So we have 3 actors. All of these 3 actors were already in here, right? These were these 3 people. So now they're actors. And now I have a list of things, right? I can add a tutor, delete a tutor, add a subject, delete a subject, subscribe to subjects, unsubscribe to subjects. So these are basically general management things, which I decided to group together. Then I made another grouping of appointments, creating appointment, deleting, modifying, and listing appointments, which are optional in that case. Because I just think for a good design, I can also think about things that would help the user, but I'm naming that optional because I don't expect you to have them. And then a student can book and cancel appointments, and so they can buy credits, book an appointment by an ID, cancel an appointment, and view their appointments. All of them include a login, so that is important because to do anything we have to log in. And now we see the connections here, right? So you might say, well, most of the things you see, like the manager is doing these things, the tutor is doing these things. So this means, well, these 2 lines, oh my gosh, they got weird, are totally obvious, right? But why do I have this one in here? Well, the thing is, if I do register a new student based on the requirements, the student is informed. So basically, they get a message. And this is why we have this line here, because when they are informed, the student will get a message. So they have to be connected. And basically, same things here. Well, all of these things are done by the tutor, manage appointments. Not the same thing. Here, that is really just something the tutor does. But in here, when someone books an appointment, so book appointment by subject and time, the tutor is informed if their appointment was booked, so they are available, right? So that is why they are connected. So that is important because you'll see that a lot of times happening in your project. And then we have the sequence diagram. So we have the input values here. We have if a student has enough credit, then we're going on. I'm sorry, I have an old version here. This should be not already an appointment. If the student doesn't have an appointment at the specified time yet, we're checking if the tutor with the subject and time is available. If so, we're booking the appointment, informing the student, informing the tutor. If no tutor is available, we're just informing the student that no tutor is available. If the student already has an appointment, we're informing the student, hey, you already have an appointment, you can book. And if the student doesn't have enough credit, we're telling the student that the student doesn't have enough credit available, so they should buy new credit to be able to book. So that's the basic solution for that, right? And I've put a couple of hints on things which might be interesting for you to look over. Thank you for watching.